Hello, everybody, and welcome back to World of Warships with Carburetor Gaming. Trying something else new here, trying to do reviews on videos. I'm going to start with my own for the time being, but who knows? I might end up reviewing somebody else's. So if you have any videos to send me, feel free to send them to me. But I'm starting out this game in the Iowa, the Tier 9, I guess, tech tree ship for the U.S. battleships, the fast battleship. This is perhaps one of my favorite battleships, and this game really shows why. Now, I don't know if you'll actually notice it, but I do have the video sped up a little bit here, just by 1%. Try and trim it down a little bit, try and save you guys a little bit of time. If you guys like that, comment and say that you guys like that. If you don't, well, feel free to leave comments, and I'll also stop doing that. I'm watching this on a very small screen here in my video editing software, which I just use like my movie or Movie Maker or whatever it is. So forgive me if I seem unable to see anything in video, but hopefully you guys can kind of work with me a little bit on this, and I can definitely fine-tune everything. But we're starting out here on this map, and I do not know map names. I really don't, so I'm sure somebody will correct me. But this is probably my best battle that I've had in the Iowa to date since the Commander rework. And a lot of people have very mixed feelings about this new Commander rework. I know I do. I love some of the new skills. I'm a battleship player, so I love the I definitely love the Deadeye skill. And I know that's been receiving a lot of flack lately. But I want everybody just to remember that these Deadeye skills, the Deadeye skill, it's very much something that I feel like people, they perceive a reality that's not there. They perceive a change that's not there. A lot of these ships, the Deadeye skill doesn't do a whole lot for. Ships like the Iowa, ships like the Yamato, they really don't do a lot for, simply because of the fact that they already had a very good tight grouping. And to go from, a 200-meter spread at 20 kilometers to a 180-kilometer spread or 180-meter spread at 20 kilometers really isn't that noticeable. It's really not that noticeable. The biggest thing for me is just the way that the Deadeye skill has been played. I try and use it more for hitting ships that are on the other side of the map, for close and brawling, and you'll actually see I just got my first kill steal there with the Holland. I mainly use it for when I'm way across the map and I need to hit ships on the other side of the map. That's when that skill is really useful. But for up-close brawling like this, I will say that as soon as Battleship players get a little bit more confident in how the game is playing now, I'm sure they'll start pushing forward, but for right now, we kind of need to just work with it. But you can kind of see how this battle could have played out if I had pushed in really hard here. You'll see that very quickly we lost C. We had no way of securing C on this map. If I had gone in guns a-blazing, as many people insist that battleships are meant to do, I would have been deleted. You'll see that Georgia there. You see this, sorry, I cannot see on my very tiny screen. Let's see if I can make this screen bigger. I can't. But you'll see that if I had gone blazing in there, even without the Deadeye skill being a thing, I would have been deleted. There's no way about it. There's just way too much DPM. So you can actually see me here. I'm getting turned around while I can. And I actually waited to shoot until I was detected. I did not want to be detected, or I did not want to take a shot while I was just starting my turn. I wanted to be as far out of my turn as possible. That way I can kite away and angle away from this Georgia. The Georgia is a battleship deleter. I think we all know that. With its 457mm 18-inch guns, it is a deleter. And it is scary against battleships like the Iowa, like the Montana, and like heavy cruisers like the Stalingrad and the Alaska, because it's got nice tight grouping from high sigma value, and it doesn't have a whole lot of spread on the dispersion. So there is that. So you can kind of see here, I'm starting to kite away. And at this point, I had already kind of said to myself, the game is lost. We are going to lose this match. There's no way in hell we're going to recover this. And it's really through myself and another player, which I'll show you at the end of the, which I'll show you in the end of the end screen, that we were able to salvage this. So you can see the Georgia kind of disappeared there. Gonna kind of just wait for it to come back around, and you can kind of see I've fixated on the Georgia a little bit too much there. I definitely should have broadened up my horizons a little bit and taken some shots at some of these other ships, but I definitely got kind of tunnel vision on the Georgia there. Taking some shots on the Izumo there. I'm sorry if I pronounce any of these names wrong. Also, I'm from the Midwest United States, and I love my vowels. I love my O's. I love my A's. I love my Ah's. So, sorry if that bugs you. I'll try and keep it to a minimum. I'll try and pronounce everything right. But, like, I pronounce the heezen or the hizen. I pronounce it as hizen. I don't know what the correct pronunciation is. Really don't care either. I'm going to say it as the hizen. I also call ships by weird names, like I love the Prince Eugen. A lot of people have yelled at me and said, no, it's the Prince Eugen. I don't care. I'm going to call it the Eugen because to me the Prince Eugen just sounds fun. So you can see I went back to taking some shots at that Georgia, and right now I'm just trying to get away from these guys because these guys, ever since the Izumo rework, the Izumo has become a very scary ship. It has those 410mm guns. It has very good accuracy and very good Sigma value. And it's got decent armor now. When I first played the Izumo going up the line, and this was way back in probably 2015, 2016, the Izumo was horrible. It was a horrible ship. I remember getting free XP and trying to use that to get out of the Izumo because it was so bad, just to get it up to the Yamato. Back when that occurred, we really only had two lines of ships. We had the US and we had the Japanese Navy. Since then, the Izumo has kind of balanced out. I believe they gave it a few buffs, and it's definitely gotten its strength back, and that's definitely a ship that I want to watch out for. But this is one of the reasons why I love the Iowa here, because the Iowa is fast. I think this thing tops out at 32.5 knots, and I think I have the Sierra mic on there, so it might even be going faster. I think I'm going 33.8 there. So for all intents and purposes, this is a very fast battleship. I think the only battleship that really surpasses it is the Georgia. And the Georgia is, in my opinion, it's broken. With that speed boost, it's broken. iChase Gaming did a video on the Georgia where he explained that in order for it to go at 38 kilometers an hour, it would need to have more horsepower than every single Iowa class battleship combined. And I think that really speaks volumes to that. So you're going to see, this is where the Deadeye skill really starts to take effect. When I'm launching shells halfway across the map, and you'll notice I still can't hit anything. The Deadeye skill helps, but it's still very much skill-based. And that's something I've tried pointing out to people. The Deadeye skill is very much skill-based still. Because even with this Deadeye skill, I should be nailing these ships, and I'm still not. I should have easily been able to delete these ships, and I haven't. But we will get to a spot here, and I believe it's coming up here relatively soon, where you'll see where the Deadeye skill definitely is a little bit broken and a little bit overpowered. So you can kind of see I'm kiting away here, just trying to survive, and looking back, what I would have done here, if hindsight's always 20/20, what I would have done here is I probably should have slowed down, but I knew that there was a destroyer back there. So I was just focused on, let's get out of here, let's try and keep some distance between me and this destroyer so I don't get torqued. Now you'll notice I'm kind of trying to turn in here, trying to get back down, and my goal is to get back down, circle through A, and get back into B. This is where that Deadeye skill is broken. You'll notice this, and you'll see that I go in with this, and I love traveling with the shot like this, but I'm guaranteed I've missed here, and oh, that's one heck of that's a paddling. I would call it something else, but I'm going to try and keep myself a little bit censored here. That's where the Deadeye skill is a little bit overpowered. That's where the Deadeye skill is a little bit broken, because that ship could do nothing to counter me. He was too focused on trying to get into B. He was too focused on trying to angle towards the ships that were down in B. That's where the Deadeye skill really takes advantage of the battlefield situation. And I will say, it's overpowered. I still love it. I still love the Deadeye skill. And I have my problems with the new commander skill rework, but that's definitely a skill I'm glad they brought in. So you'll see I start taking pot shots again at the Georgia here, but the Georgia's able to get through the lines, and there's that destroyer I was worried about. So you can definitely see where I could have slowed down a little bit and sort of taken advantage of being a little bit closer to those ships and getting better dispersion. However, hindsight, it's 2020. I will say this battle had a pretty good outcome, and I would say it worked for me. So already I have 2 achievements. I have that first kill, and I have that devastating strike. But by the end of this, I'll have 2 more. So now you can see the Izumo there, giving me a nice, juicy broadside. This is where I wish that the 16-inch guns on the U.S. battleships were a little bit bigger. Not much, just like bumped up to like 410 millimeter. Because as these shots come in, you'll notice that I don't do a whole lot of damage to the Izumo. I still give him a Royal Paddling, but it's not as much as I feel the Izumo could have done to me. I'm going to start trying to focus on that mass while the Lexington is keeping him lit up. This is where definitely carriers have really come into their own, is with spotting damage. Under normal circumstances, or under the old carrier rework, before the carrier rework, the carrier really couldn't do anything to keep this destroyer spotted. But now that he can keep him spotted, you can really keep him spotted for the other people on the map to take advantage of him. You'll see, I line up my shots, I take my shots, and that's a paddling. I'm sorry to get 50% of your health knocked down in a single salvo. That's tremendous. And that's where the carrier really lives up to its own. So you can, I don't know if you can see the timers up on the top screen there. I know I have a lot of information on screen here. I play with a lot of information on my screen. In all purposes, we should have lost this battle. For all intents and purposes, we should have lost this battle. How we won it is nothing short of a miracle. See, I line up and I'm about to take shots on this Kremlin. Still hoping to get that mass to pop up, because I really want to take the last little leg off the mass, but it just wasn't meant to be. The cruiser or the carrier, I don't know why I keep saying cruiser, but the carrier got a little bit distracted there with the Kremlin, trying to knock the Kremlin out. And I can understand why, because we're also fighting points. Because if you imagine it, every single time that we kill a battleship, it's 65 points, or it's either 65 or 40 points off the enemy team. Get a overpen there on the mass. Still trying to take him out, but that's pretty much where the mass is going to stay for the rest of this battle. He's going to be seen again later on in the battle, but he hasn't moved very much. Coming back around to get shots on this Georgia. Oh, but man, is he angled in. I'm not going to be able to do much here. Yep, only a couple of penetrations, the rest of them ricochet. Still a respectable amount of damage there. That's nothing to shake a stick at. Now, I don't know if you notice also, But earlier on in the match, we already had somebody get a Kraken over. So the Kraken has already been unleashed on my team, and it's only through myself and him that this match was able to survive. Coming back around, and again, hindsight's 2020. If I were to go back and do this again, I would not have gone around this this island. I instead would have probably stuck to the backside, but it works out in the end because I'm able to get one salvo off of this Kremlin, and that's all that I need to get him out of map. But I really need to get my bow around because that Georgia has his guns pointed in my direction, and if I don't get it whipped around here fast, that'll be a really bad day for me. Lining up, he has his back turret towards me, which is still enough to do a lot of damage. I'm able to get one salvo off. There it goes. That's enough to take him down. Now this is where the game really gets good. Because this is where the enemy team was able to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. For all intents and purposes, this game was theirs. This game was theirs to lose. This was not our game to win. This was their game to lose.
Problem solved, sir.
So I come around, and at this point, I'm figuring, you know what, we're pretty much done. The mass is probably going to throw some torps at me, but the mass is probably running away. Nope, there's the mass. He basically has not moved. Take my salvo. He's gone dark again, and if he's smart, he'd stay dark, but nope, I was able to get it, and there's the Kraken Unleashed for me. When I saw that first Kraken Unleashed on our team, I was convinced there's no way that, you know, I'm going to be able to do well against this. I'm going to be carried by this guy. That is proof that even if one of your own team does well, you can still do well yourself. Take him some shots at the Shohatsu now. We need to sink this crew or this carrier. There I go, mixing up those two again. We need to sink this carrier. There is not enough time left in the game for us to be able to, even if we were to take the sea cap, for us to be able to win. So we need to sink that carrier. And this is where I'm glad that our Lexington is still alive. This is why there's definitely a skill or a I don't want to use skill because that makes it sound like it's a commander skill, but there's definitely an art to saving your planes until the very end of the match, because you never know when your planes are the difference between winning and losing. Right now, I can't see that Shohatsu, and we need to kill that Shohatsu in order to win. Trying to get my ship back turned around here. Taking my shot, only with the rear turret. Still do a little bit of damage. Not much, but a little bit. Trying to get my bows turned back around here so I can try and get the front guns unleashed, and there they go. Come on, come on. He's gone dark, and there's my Confederate. So I've got two more achievements just since the first two that I earned, and this is really where the game was won or lost by us. Trying to get back around. I assumed here that the carrier was going to keep on moving forward, so I decided instead of going around the right side of this island, I decided to stick to the left. If I had stuck to the left, I would have been able to get my third turret on target, but hindsight's 2020. There goes the shot. And RNG is going to stiff me here as I only get one penetration, but the carrier comes back, the friendly carrier comes back and deletes him. All right, and time for the screenshots at the very end. As you can see there, 560,000 coin, dang near 1,300 experience, and little over 3,400 free experience. As you can see, I have the first strike, devastating strike, the Kraken Unleashed, and the Confederate there, with just a little under 160,000 damage. 1 Citadel, 5 killed, 20 aircraft shot down. This is why I love the Iowa. The Iowa is really an overpowered ship. Now going to the next one here. As you can see, on top of my list, you can see the other Iowa just down below it with the name. I'm just going to call you Cicarita. I don't know. It's cicada. I don't know. 6 kills, 18 aircraft shot down, and just a little below me, I had 25,000 base experience here. He had 20,000 base experience here. Still nothing to shake a stick at. And look at where that Lexington is. That Lexington, when he first started out and saw that he was kind of at the bottom of the tier here, he very easily could have thrown a rage fit and quit. He stayed with it, and he stayed with it to the end. Going to the next one here, you can really see where the premium comes into handy because it very easily gave me 1,400 more free experience, gave me an additional 500 experience there, and gave me an additional 200,000 free coin. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was kind of the first one I've done with this. I have another replay saved of the Haragumo. Love that ship. I love the Iowa. If you guys have any that you want to send me to review, feel free to send it to me. I'm also planning on going over some of the changes that have been going on and kind of reviewing some ships that I've come into acquaintance with, like the Hizen and the Massachusetts. If you guys want to see any of those, feel free to subscribe and stick around, and I'll try and get around to those in time. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.